back to the Locker Room Talk with Chase and Tyler.
It's your boys!
We're back with another episode, another miscellaneous episode, talking about whatever again.
Yeah, we're missing Riley today. So.
Yeah, what are we starting with today?
Well, as we know, the NHL playoffs are obviously in full swing. We're already, Game 5's starting tonight?
Game 6, no, just Game 5's tonight.
Game 5's tonight, Game 6 is tomorrow, which been a weird playoffs. I mean, other than one series, they've all been tied going into the fifth game, or with the exception of one series, which is 3-1. But obviously, pretty strange playoffs how they've gone. Like,
it's kind of dull.
Yeah,
it hasn't really been exciting.
No, it's been whack. I mean, you've seen different lot of fines. Some guys getting in-person hearings, but obviously we'll touch base on those later.
Yeah.
So might as well hit it off. Colorado
got the sweep,
got the brooms out.
Got the brooms, got them out of there.
I mean,
did they have a chance to begin with, Nashville?
After Game 1, I didn't think so, but when Ingram responded in Game 2 and they almost pulled out an overtime win, Ingram I thought held them in, but Nashville's big guys didn't come through, like Duchesne, Yossi.
They had an amazing season, and then just kind of didn't really do anything.
Yeah, like those guys who set career marks and points were. I think Yossi had 3 points. Duchesne and Johansson were out. I mean, what about Colorado? Right?
They're a horse at this point.
Obviously Kemper went down with an injury, and like I said, Colorado could have afforded to lose a game. I mean, they were in the driver's seat, so I don't think they were really worried. But
I mean, McKinnon, we talked the opposite. McKinnon and McCarr showed up.
Oh, yeah.
They look good. They look scary good.
And, one of the things, too, for me was usually those top teams struggle out of the gate. But, I mean, Colorado started off with a bang, like 5-goal first period in Game 1. So
there's no question Colorado is winning the series.
100%. And I think Nashville, because Nashville is probably prepping for Calgary.
So do they put a banner up?
Colorado?
Nashville. Nashville put a banner up saying they made the playoffs.
Oh. Little jinx.
They did it for other things. They did it for other things, and they put up a banner for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think because Nashville is lined up to play Calgary.
Yeah.
So I think in your mind, you're like, hey, we're going to play Calgary. It's going to be a good, hard playoff series. And then all of a sudden, Dallas ends up sneaking in one extra point. And now it's like, oh, my.
No, everything shifts around,
Yeah. So, sorry, Nashville. Good luck at the World Championships if any players go.
With Nashville, that Yakov Treinen.
Oh, yeah.
Wore the same suit 79 games in a row.
Whoa. Gross.
I hope he watched. I didn't expect he did, but, still. And
Big Save Riddick, or Big Save Dave, whatever they call him, not coming through. So, nothing good. Congrats on Colorado. Good luck in the second round. St. Louis Mini.
That's been a series. That's
been a good one. Back and forth, yeah.
Outside of Kaprizov and maybe O'Reilly, there's no real superstar in that series.
No, I mean, St. Louis has used both goalies. Fleury's played, so, obviously tomorrow will be Game 6 back in St. Louis, and I think Mini will pull it out. I think Mini could potentially win it in 7, but obviously they got to win on the road. And
is anybody who wins? Who do they play if they go on? They'd face Colorado.
Yeah, so Colorado plays the winner of St. Louis Mini. So I think if you're Colorado, I think your better matchup is St. Louis.
Yeah,
I think Mini's got your number in a way. And little side note too, 10 of the 16 teams have used more than one goalie this playoffs. So it's crazy to think. So it's Minnesota, Tampa, Florida, Calgary, Edmonton, and Dallas have only used one goalie so far.
Yeah.
Everyone else, and I think they've already set a record for most wins by different goalies this year already.
So is Minnesota making a mistake playing Fleury over Talbot?
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, you got a perennial Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Who's literally on the last bit of his contract. He's done his contract.
Yeah, does he retire at the end of the season? I mean, he's gonna.
I think he will, but I think he'll do a one-day deal with Pittsburgh. I think and signs there. This series honestly is a toss-up for me because you got two teams that are evenly matched. They're both grinding it out. Yeah, and I mean,
and neither team is that exciting to watch.
I'd say Mini is. You got Kaprizov, right?
Every other series, I'm like, I want to watch a game.
That's true.
I see this game on TV, I am going to find whatever else is on.
That's true.
And that's just me as a fan, but at the same time,
yeah,
that series does not get me going in any way. Like, it's not a good series, really. It's an amazing series on the actual play. Just
and like Daryl Sutter said, going back to that Colorado Nashville, that's a waste of 8 days.
Oh, it was
right. And I mean the second round,
it was 7.
Yeah, and I think for whoever wins between St. Louis and Minnie, I think they're going to make it a little bit more competitive.
I hope they do.
And make Colorado really work for their wins, right? So, no, that series is up in the air. Again, not much really going on in that series. There's a lot of hitting, the playoffs in general have been pretty feisty. I mean, we've seen lots of scrums, but nothing. Like I said, St. Louis has a chance to close it out tomorrow night. We could honestly see the first round done tomorrow night.
Yeah.
As early.
No.
Tomorrow night?
No,
not tomorrow night.
2 days.
Sorry, 2 days.
We can see the playoffs done by Friday night.
Friday night, yeah.
So speaking of feisty, Calgary-Dallas. That has been a series of just pure fire, pure hatred coming out of that.
Yeah, let's look at Jake Ottinger. What he's done.
23 years old.
What he's done, Holtby and Khudobin are both on the shelf. And they've got Scott Wedgwood as their backup.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, as a lot of people might be thinking, whoever wins Game 5 is probably going to win it in 6.
I think so.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Dallas has really put a boot to Calgary right now.
Yeah.
And, the first 2 games, it was a 2-1 spread.
But now you got Gaudreau going. You got Gaudreau fired up. You got, Tkachuk's been fired up in all the wrong ways the whole series. All you're missing is Lindholm now. Get that line going, what happens?
Or even Mangiapane, which, who
scored on the third and fourth line though right now.
Yeah. Lucic, Lewis should not be scoring goals. It should be your top guys.
Though I do like how Sutter's been playing with that line. Mm-hmm. Sutter with that line playing, he started him against Ben the other
That's
day.
True, yeah.
And Lucic offered to fight him the first drop, and Ben stood down. Okay, with all that said, Game 5 tonight. Who scores first? Both team and then player.
I think Calgary gets the early bump.
Yeah.
And I think personally, I got him in my one hockey pool.
Yeah.
Mangiapane's been nothing so far, so I think he scores the first goal for Calgary.
See, and I got Calgary too, but I got Gaudreau.
Gaudreau?
I think Gaudreau, it's time for that line to take over, and I think that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And who wins that game?
Honestly, I see Dallas. I think Dallas is going to freaking stun Calgary tonight in Calgary.
See, and I think because it's in Calgary, I think Calgary's got this one.
You think so?
I think Calgary's...
Because they split the first 2.
Yeah.
Or they split basically both home and homes. So
home field advantage doesn't count anymore. Mm-hmm. That's how it is with that.
I think Dallas squeaks out in overtime, honestly, tonight.
And then who is the first star of that game?
I think Jake Ottinger is going to be the first star. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair, and Jake Ottinger is going to get the first star.
See, I'm going to go exactly opposite here. I got Markstrom.
Markstrom?
I think Markstrom stands on his head and puts up a Jacob Markstrom start for this season. I'm not saying shutout. I'm talking 1-goal game. Mm-hmm. Markstrom stands on his head.
I think, for me, I like that, too.
Nurse suspended 1 game for headbutting Kings Deneau.
Okay, good. We're going to be talking about that here soon.
There you go.
Second star, going out on a limb here, Jason Robertson with a hat trick in the winner in overtime.
Oh, a hat trick in a winner over. And that's not first star for you?
No, because Ottinger's going to be freaking stellar. And I think Calgary has outshot Dallas 2-1.
Outside of who's in it, how is that not a first star to you?
I just think Ottinger's going to have a really big game. He's going to face lots of shots. And I just think Jason Robertson's going to light the lamp. And they give it to Ottinger instead. But I think...
I've got Heiskanen. Heiskanen, second star, 1 assist. Just plays decent. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy, nothing special. Mm-hmm. Just gets the job done.
Fair enough. Third star for me, I'm going to go with Calgary. Probably Tkachuk. I think Tkachuk's going to maybe have a 3-point night. Goal, 2 assists, I think.
And then I've got Gaudreau with the initial goal. That's what's going to keep him in the
third
first
star.
Third
star, yeah. So, yeah, going to be a good game tonight. Should be packed in Calgary. So, hopefully see some good hockey tonight.
Okay, Edmonton is down 3-2 to the Kings. They're now without Nurse.
For 1 game.
What is Edmonton going to do?
Play Duncan Keith 40-plus minutes.
Yeah, maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah. Honestly, it comes down to experience. Jay Woodcroft, Oilers coach, was an assistant under McClellan.
Yeah.
He was coaching the AHL, and then he came up and he's coaching the Oilers now. I think, honestly, coaching goes to McClellan here. Yeah. I mean, you're missing your top defenseman. You've got a guy who we'll talk about later in Dustin Brown who's calling it quits at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You've got an aging Jonathan Quick, who's been out with injuries for the past couple years.
Yeah.
And I think after games 2 and 3, when Edmonton blew them out of the water, I think everyone was like, okay, Edmonton's bringing this baby home. And LA responded with a huge shutout win in game 4 and then pulled out a scary, was it 4-3? 5-4?
Yes, 5-4 last
5-4.
5-4 last night. McDavid in that press conference. You hear what he said about that?
I missed that.
4 goals should win you a playoff game.
100%.
So is that him getting a little more frustrated with how things have been?
I think so. I personally, and Oiler fans can say I'm wrong, I don't think Mike Smith is that bad of a goalie, but he does give up the odd shitty goal at the wrong time. Minus when they got their shutout in Game 3, I believe it was in LA.
Yes.
So I don't think he's a bad goalie, but you look at LA, like they do not have a real superstar, and they have I think 11 or 12 guys making their playoff debuts.
And that's it. I mean, they still got the old Stallworth and Kopitar, Brown, Quick.
And Doughty was playing Doughty.
But he's not. I mean, I bet he's still in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. You got guys like Troy Stetcher and Alex Edler who are giving you valuable minutes. Ollie Mata.
Yeah, Mata. That defense course is weird to me.
It is.
It's just a weird court.
Right? And Philip Deno fills out nicely on center there.
Kempe's been great.
Byfield's bit. Andre Nasiu?
Yeah, I was just saying, I can't pronounce his name, but that's
Andreas Athanasiou.
Athanasiou, yeah.
So, honestly, as much as I want to see a Battle of Alberta in the next round, I think LA clinches it in Game 6.
We can easily see an LA Dallas
pretty boring second round.
To hope for.
But then at least one of those teams is going to be in the Western Conference Final, so anything can happen, right?
If that happens, is that the worst case scenario for the NHL?
100%.
Because you think of how much money. I mean, we were talking about how Gary Bettman, the first games of those series, of the Edmonton and Calgary series, he was at those games over any other game.
Mm-hmm. And I think if you're Alberta, you want both Alberta teams.
Alberta would get, I think.
Right? But honestly, I think that as much as it's sad to say it's bad for business, but I mean...
They got to pull their out of the way to make business work.
Exactly. So I think LA-Dallas wouldn't be a bad series.
Yeah.
Because let's be real here, it should have been... At the start of the year, it was going to be Vegas winning the Pacific, Edmonton second, and then a toss-up. Calgary wasn't in there. Vancouver, Seattle, they were all scattered there. LA is technically a wild card team. They should be.
Yeah.
And they're beating Edmonton by pure superiority of playoff experience with some guys. And honestly, depth.
Well, as I said, we have
Edmonton has no depth.
Same old argument where Edmonton's too top heavy.
Mm-hmm. And they rely on, look at last night, they rely on Draisaitl and McDavid to score the offense.
Did you watch any of the game last night?
I watched quite a bit of it.
Did you see Draisaitl get reverse hit there by...
Yeah. So, honestly, I think LA brings this baby home, and I think a lot of Oiler fans are going to be upset.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say it, Jay Woodcroft might be on the hot seat.
I think he should be. I think he's done fine coming in with... It's the same argument as Dominic Ducharme. He's not...
Exactly.
He got him there. Cool.
Mind you, difference with him and Ducharme is he actually had a really good record at the end of the regular season, right? So,
okay, moving over to the East now. Florida and Washington, they're tied 2-2 going into Game 5 tonight.
A lot of people don't give Washington credit, man.
No, they're a sleeper team. They are a horse in this playoffs.
People don't realize Washington obviously has the playoff experience, and every team in the East finished with 100 points.
Yeah.
So it's as much as Florida should win this series, being the President's Trophy winners.
Yeah.
Washington's got the depth. They've got the playoff pedigree. I mean, Ovi they won a cup finally. This honestly, I think again, same thing. Whoever wins tonight is going to close it out on Friday.
Yeah. I mean, TJ Oshie's now firing again because Netsov had a goal the other day. They're starting to go again.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thing for Florida, I think.
I think so.
And I don't think Florida wanted to get smacked in the face the way they got smacked in the face this series so far.
And I mean, honestly, like I said, Washington's not a bad team, and these games have been all over. Like it's been 5-1, it's been overtime,
series,
it's just been all over.
The entire playoffs have just been weird scoring-wise. Like there hasn't, like outside of the last night's Edmonton game, really hasn't been a one-goal game for the most part.
It's gonna wind up being like a Carolina-St. Louis final or something. The way it's going to lower market teams, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's play that game again. Who takes Game 5?
I think Florida responds after winning Game 4. Yeah, Game 4 in overtime. I think they respond and they blow out the Caps tonight.
Yeah, who gets the first goal?
First goal.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sam Bennett.
I say Claude Giroux. Honestly, I think Claude Giroux's due.
He's been quiet.
That's why I think he's going to score tonight.
I forgot he was there until you said that.
Honestly, Claude Giroux, I think, is due for the first goal.
So, yeah, Sam Bennett, though, is who I got for that one.
So we both have Florida winning, I assume? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
3 stars.
Bub Ross. Bennett with 2 goals in that game.
Who?
Bennett with 2 goals.
Bennett with 2 goals? I got Bob as the 3rd star with a shutout. Honestly, I think Bob is due for something like that.
Well, he's on the hot seat, too. Because he's not guaranteed the starting job next year.
No, and they have 3 goalies. Him, Spencer Knight, and they have another guy. I can't remember off the top of my head, but Bob's played every game.
Levi, because Levi's not there anymore.
Not Levi. I don't.
He was there.
They still got Spencer Knight, anyways.
Yeah, Spencer Knight will be the starter next season, in everybody's opinion.
Yeah. Especially because Florida signed Bob to that ridiculous contract. I don't know
why you don't pay goalies. Right there, it's the same argument with running backs.
100%.
You don't pay a running back.
No, and I think 2nd star you give it to Ovi. I think Ovi has 2 goals, but I still think. Did I say shutout? No, I didn't say shutout. I think Ovi gets 2 goals, but I think. Oh, did I? Okay, never mind then. Not Ovi, but I think Ovi gets 2nd star potentially. You know, if they don't get the shutout, I think he gets a couple goals But I still think Florida's going to blow this one out of the water.
See, 3rd star, I've got Hubie.
Hubie?
Yeah. Huberdeau's going to get 3rd star, get a couple assists, do his thing.
1 game ban for Nurse. We talked about that. Yeah, you good with this one?
Yeah, I'm good with that one.
Toronto, Tampa. I think the series, nobody wants either team to advance. I think if you look across the board there, nobody wants Tampa to repeat, and personally, as a fan of hockey, I don't want to see Toronto make it out of the first round for yet another dismal year. Toronto squeaked by last night. They were down, I think 2-0 early, and they fought back and won it 4-3 with just over 5 minutes left from Matthews. So obviously Tampa looking human. They don't look like the Stanley Cup team.
That's it. They're not. They're facing a Toronto team that's got that chip on their shoulder that everybody's been expecting them to do something for 3 years?
Yeah.
And it's time for them to actually do it.
The only thing that's going against Toronto right now is the fact that Tampa has an NHL record 53 or 54-0 record, or 54 straight wins. When they've lost, they've won the next game. And Vasilevsky has been dominant. He's won like 14. He's 14-0, 15-0. Stellar goals against, stellar save percentage. So I think going back to Tampa, I think this one will go 7 back to TO. I definitely still don't think Tampa's repeating as a champion again.
No, I don't think Tampa's got that in them. No. They had their good run.
Yeah. And but this has been a good series. Both teams, a lot of energy, a lot of physicalness.
And so if they keep that physicalness, what can happen there? That both those teams, whoever makes it out, Toronto's not built for
and they're
physicality.
Toronto and Tampa are leading the playoffs with penalty minutes. Like Tampa's got 120 and Toronto's at 90.
Yeah, it's
been
a war of odd man advantage.
Yeah.
Really. So 4-4. I think we played most of the series 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Carolina and Boston. That's a weird series to me. I honestly thought Boston would do better.
I did too. Mind you, 3-2. You're still right in it. Yeah, but Carolina, they should have swept this series because they kicked Boston in the shins all year. And, Boston, I think, scored 2 goals in the regular season to start this playoffs. Carolina just dominated, and Boston's fought back. And, again, the East is wide open. You got 8 equal teams. I think Carolina pulls it out in Boston tomorrow. I just think Carolina's, they don't have a superstar. They win by committee, and they don't rely. I guess you could say Sebastian Aho, but
Aho's been good, but he hasn't been that special,
right? They just win by committee. They got depth, they've got speed, they got it all. So
Ranta's played okay, and he doesn't play bad.
No, Ranta's been good, and that other guy came in, and Russian or whatever the heck his name is.
I just love him talking shit to Marchand. I love that.
Right? So, he filled in nicely. So, as a third stringer, which is the next topic.
Yeah. Did anybody see this coming? Pittsburgh leading New York 3-1 right now.
No.
Anybody see that?
Even as a
Pittsburgh guy,
even as a Penguins fan, I said going in, I have my doubts because of how good Shesterkin was this year and the fact Pittsburgh scored only 4 goals in the regular season on New York. Yeah. I thought this was going to be 4-0, 4-1, maybe win a game. But let's give praise to Louis Domingue. Spicy pork and broccoli, baby.
Yeah, he's coming in after that meal and still being good.
The fact that Pittsburgh doesn't have Raquel. They didn't have Jari to start. Jari's skating finally, but DeSmith went down.
If this series goes 7, could he sneak back in? Would you want him to sneak back in?
I wouldn't. I think if Pittsburgh wins tonight, that's obviously a bonus for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, gives them
you get a lot of rest. Domingue can work on his lazy glove hand. Yeah. But honestly,
what's happened to Shesterkin?
I think just the fact that they played him so much during the season, he's going to win the Vezina. Over Saros and Markstrom are the finalists with him.
Did you see Saros get into that?
No. I thought it was Vasilevsky with those other two, but kind of funny how there's no Canadian goalies or American goalies this year. It's
that's a weird thing
all European. But I honestly, Pittsburgh has shown that Crosby, Gensel, and Rust have been unbelievable.
They're the stalwart of that team.
Right? And people are saying, Boyle should retire, Carter should retire. I'm thinking
I think they should retire. They got one more year left in them.
They do. And Pittsburgh's finally getting the depth scoring that they didn't have throughout the season, right? Yeah. They have their third and fourth lines producing. So for me, I'm sorry, Pittsburgh's going to win Game 5 in MSG tonight in some fashion. I think Shesterkin's playing tonight, but I think Pittsburgh's going to score, and they are just going to lay the hammer down on the Rangers.
See, I think this is the Rangers wake-up call. I think Rangers got this game. I don't know about Game 6, but they've got this one.
Game 5.
And I think Shesterkin has a bounce-back game. I'm not talking perfect. I'm talking maybe 2 goals going to let in, but he does okay.
Yeah.
Who gets the first goal?
I'm sorry, Gensel. Gensel's probably going to score the first goal.
I've got a weird one. I'm going to say Letang.
You think so?
Letang gets
you think that Pittsburgh's going to score the first goal, though?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a comeback by the Rangers for them to win.
I agree.
Okay, 3 stars.
Well, definitely not Domingue.
No, it won't be Domingue. I don't think Shesterkin.
Crosby will probably be second star. He's going to have a good game tonight.
Letang gets second for me. I could see a Panarin getting top star, first star.
Panarin gets that line. Yeah. Panarin, Zibanejad, and I can't remember who the third guy is, but they need to get going.
That's where it could be.
You can't get the offense from what they call their kid line with Cheadle, Kako, and Lafreniere.
Yeah, someone needs to get going there.
Yeah, your experience. So,
third star.
Third star, I'd say Gino. Gino's been
anybody.
Yeah. It could be. Gino had a.
Literally could be anybody.
Gino's been quiet, and I think Gino's just gonna, help the Pens get to the next round.
We just talked about that line, but Lafreniere, I think, third star for them.
He's been quietly good.
He's not gonna be anything crazy, just something easy.
No.
What do you think of the officiating this season? It's been kind of weird.
Not even this season, just the playoffs. It's been wacky. Like a lot of, obviously, like I said, Toronto, Tampa has been a lot of penalties, a lot of fights. Yeah. Honestly, the intensity's there. I don't know. People got to understand the playoffs are different, right? Coming from an official who refs hockey, playoff hockey is a heck of a lot more different. You got to fight through everything. Everyone's saying McDavid draws all these penalties because of his speed and stuff. In the playoffs, you don't get that.
No, you got to be able to fight through some type of penalties.
But I do agree. I think it's going above and beyond, like all these little hooks and all these little tricks.
I was watching the Calgary game the other night. Why was there so many calls? Like, stump.
I don't know. It's
like that Gaudreau penalty shot should not have been a penalty shot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looked like a makeup call, but it shouldn't have been one to begin with.
Exactly. So I think there's a point between too many calls and not enough.
Yeah.
But again, it's all perception, right? It's what the ref sees, and if the refs are at a bad angle, then they miss a call. But you know what? To be honest, there's been lots of goals. There's been lots of other stuff to take our eyes off. So I think, honestly, there's not much you can do, right? You can't put a robot in place. You can't, no different than the MLB. You can't put an automated strike zone in. It's got to be personalized. So I think that's all we need to talk about that. I mean, it's been
weird.
It's been
not great.
I don't think there's one team that's really. There's been teams that have complained about calls. I know Gallant.
There's no team that's benefited from it, though.
No,
truly. Like,
they've all. It's been pretty equal.
All the way around.
It's been crap all around.
Like, it's been bad all the way around.
So if you want to say, well, it's helped my team over another, it hasn't. Every team's benefited and been pissed off with a call, and that's the nature of the game. So.
Okay, Islanders have fired Barry Trotz.
Bad move, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know why you fire a guy who's won a Stanley Cup, had a year on his contract, dealt with a 13-game road trip to start because their arena wasn't done.
Come back from that.
Yeah. So
who is the next coach of the Islanders? With that being said,
Islanders, I don't know. I don't know who's even on the market. Who would be a good fit for
Travis Green.
You think so?
I can see
after his time in
Vancouver. I can see Travis Green.
You think Rick Tocchet gets involved somewhere?
Not
Obviously,
New York, but I can see Philly.
Philly?
I can see Rick Tocchet going to Philly. I can see Paul Maurice going to Philly.
Philly would be good there.
And I can see Barry Trotz ending up in Winnipeg.
See, and I think Barry Trotz is somehow going to be connected in Edmonton. I think they need that kind of voice.
That'd be kind of fun, though. I wouldn't mind that.
Is Mike Babcock ever making a run at?
He's still getting paid by Toronto right now. He ain't going anywhere.
No.
And his contracts, if he goes anywhere, he loses that paycheck.
Yeah.
I think lose that paycheck.
No. I think Dave Lowry stays in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And I think Andrew Brunette, irregardless of how Florida does, I think Andrew Brunette's going to be the next full-time coach of the Florida Panthers.
What about the Red Wings?
Red Wings are still looking. I don't think Blashill will get a job anywhere.
No, I don't think he should. But does a Paul Maurice end up in
Paul Maurice could end up there, yeah. I know Dan Blyesma's been looking to head coach again, and give him his dues. He is a very successful coach.
Yeah, he's been a great coach.
I mean, he inherited a Buffalo Sabres team that wasn't very good, but he was on a good Pittsburgh team, right? So, yeah.
Okay. The NHL lottery was last night. Montreal takes it. So is that the Shane Wright sweepstakes right there, or does Ken Hughes go off the book and draft his own kid?
I think if Ken Hughes, before we continue, we'd just like to shout out to a professor of ours, Brendan Richardson, big Montreal Canadiens fan.
Yeah.
Doesn't think Gallagher in our first episode, Gallagher for Eberle is a fair trade, but shout out.
Stand by that.
Yeah, I do too. Shout out to Brendan on this one. Good luck to your Montreal Canadiens next year.
Yeah.
I think for the league, I think it might benefit, but then again, like Shane Wright is an unbelievable prospect, and then you got
the first overall pick.
Then you got Connor Bedard next year. So, honestly, I think Hughes might go off the book because how high is his son?
Oh, he's like third round.
Third round? Oh yeah.
Minimum.
So if he drafts him third, who's second? New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh man, if New Jersey ends up getting Shane Wright,
New Jersey gets Shane Wright. They got him, Hughes.
Do you think?
And Heischer up the middle. That's kind of nasty.
Do you think Montreal would look at possibly trading to get not a half decent player, because obviously it's a high pick, but do you think Montreal could potentially trade to get, I don't know, elite defender, an elite forward, or a franchise player?
See, I could see them, because I mean, this top 10 in this draft is actually pretty stacked.
100%.
I mean, Shane Wright's clearly the top guy, but it's not a big drop off.
No.
So could you see them trading down to somewhere in that top 10, picking up some pieces, get another pick out of it?
Mm-hmm. You know, trade for somebody who isn't in the right market.
Yeah.
And Montreal could use them. I think so. But then again, you have the top pick, and I don't know many top picks that have been traded before the draft has taken place.
No, that's it.
So we'll see. I mean, we plan on doing a mock draft here end of the playoffs before the draft starts. So we'll make our picks and compare them. And
yeah, moving on to rookies. Bunting, Zegras, and Seider have been named the Calder finalists. So no Raymond, no Janot.
Bunting, Cedar.
Zegras, and Cedar.
Oh.
I'm standing by Zegras.
Yeah. I hope Bunting doesn't win. Toronto market, I'd hope.
I'm okay with Bunting not winning. And Seider, I mean, he's been great, but I look at the plus minus.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
No. On a shitty team.
It's got to mean something.
True, yeah. I mean, you look at all the great defensemen like Bobby Orr and Larry Robinson, plus minus gods.
So, I mean, that can't mean a whole bunch.
No.
Okay, retirements this year. We've seen Patty Marlow announce his retirement. 1,700 games, 566 goals, and 1,197 points. He's a two-time Olympic champion, but he's got no cups. Is he a Hall of Famer?
100%. I mean, he broke Mr. Hockey's record for most games played. That's pretty incredible to play that many games. You know, including playoffs, he's pretty close to 2,000.
Yeah. So So he's a Hall of Famer. Where does he stand among all-time greats? Can't be anywhere near it, right?
No, I mean the Stanley Cup's hurt him. But it's again, Joe Thornton would be on there. Doesn't have a Stanley Cup. I mean, Patty Marlow's got pretty much every San Jose record.
Well, that's it. Yeah, he's got all franchise records. He stood out on the ice for Canada 2 times now.
Mm-hmm. I think he's obviously a great. He will be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But again, people will always say, well, he doesn't have any championships to his name, so is he really that good? There's lots of guys in the Hall for any sport that don't have any championships, but it's what they did in the regular season and even postseason without winning championships. You know, look at John Stockton and Karl Malone with Utah. Like, John Stockton has the most games played among players who never won a championship, right? Great player in the Hall of Fame. But congrats, Patty, on a great career. You ended up playing with Pittsburgh and did some damage with them as well. So congrats on a great year and best of luck in retirement.
Another guy, Dustin Brown. One last run for him?
I think so.
Do you think they're going to complete it, though?
Again, like I mentioned earlier, we're giving a shout-out to Dustin Brown.
Yeah.
Retiring at the end of the year. There's LA's motivation.
Yeah.
Let's win one for Brownie. You know, like let's go
follow him, you think?
I think Quick has a few.
They got Cal Peterson coming up right behind him.
But do they have anything else coming?
No, but you can get a backup pretty cheap nowadays.
That's true. I think honestly, this is where LA gains experience. Is you got a guy who's retired. Let's go out and try to win one for him. And they got the team to do it. Even though they're not as skilled as Edmonton, they've got the depth, they've got the drive, they've got the coaching, I think. So I think Dustin Brown's got one more. Good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully you can pull it out and shut up all the Oiler fans out there. And
I mean, you look at those 2 Kings Cup runs.
12 and 14.
Yeah. Outside of us knowing now who the captain is, 5 years down the road, could you think you'd name a team captain of that team?
No.
Those 2 teams?
Nope.
I mean, he's silently done an amazing job with that organization.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't put up points. He's not a guy. He just plays his role.
And he does it well.
Yeah. So
what other names are we expecting in this?
Carey Price has floated around.
Carey Price. I still say Stamkos.
Stamkos?
If they make a big run and go deep in the playoffs, I could see them Monday.
Pull a Michael Jordan, do a 3-peat, and then retire, and then come back.
Yeah.
Carey Price. Thornton and Chara. You haven't heard much on them.
Damn near 60 years old, so I would think.
Mm-hmm. People are talking about Malkin and Letang. Well, not so much Letang, but Malkin. And I
wouldn't be surprised about Letang either, though, because he's been a rough body his entire career.
And he's gone through lots of surgeries and lots of different things like that. So.
Yes, is that all you got for that one?
Yeah.
Okay. NBA now, we've got playoffs in the final 8 now.
Yep.
Western Conference, we've got Phoenix and Dallas, then Golden State and Memphis.
So my buddy did a 3-bet, and he picked 2 games that were right, sports betting, and he needed Memphis to beat Golden State, and he would have been up $600, and they blew it.
That's awesome.
On a $5 bet, but whatever. But yeah, Phoenix, Dallas. I mean, this is the first time Dallas has gotten past the first round since they won their only championship 2011 with Dirk and Jason Kidd, who's their coach.
It's hilarious.
And honestly, it was a close game last night, but Phoenix was pulling away in the third. Dallas was turning the ball over, not hitting their shots, but I think Dallas will make it a series. They'll bring it home for Game 7 at home tomorrow night. So I think it'll be a bounce back game for Dallas and Luka. Luka's probably one of the best players right now in his age group.
Man's what, 23?
Yeah, he's young, and he hasn't even won an award yet. So he's.
No, that's the thing.
I think he won Rookie of the Year.
Yes, but still, I mean, that's.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a good supporting cast. Like no big stars. Dwight
Powell,
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that's a supporting cast though.
But they got the right coach in Jason Kidd for that, right?
Well,
that's what Luka needs. But anyways, Golden State, Memphis. I know Taylor Jenkins, Memphis' coach, has complained about the officiating quite a bit.
Officiating hasn't been too great in NBA either, though.
No. Golden State has a chance to move on to the West Finals tonight. They're up 3-1. Mm-hmm. Golden State looking to get back to
Golden State's just Golden State. They're back to being the horse that they were.
The dynasty that they had.
Everybody's back healthy now. It's back being scary.
Curry's dangerous. So
Durant, they're fine.
Mm-hmm, they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, moving over to the East. Miami's leading Philly 3-2. I mean,
home teams have won every game.
Now. Embiid's in a mask.
Yep.
As Butler said, fuck your mask. Hasn't looked good.
Yeah. And every game's been won by the home team.
Yeah.
And Miami's surprisingly been the team to beat in the East. They've been
not surprisingly, they've been damn good.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they've been a shocker to be the first seed, right? Like they've kind of just climbed up there and snuck in, and Miami's got a chance tomorrow night to head home. They end the streak of home teams winning, and
it's Miami. I think they're still my pick to win it all.
100%.
Yeah, Milwaukee and Boston tied 2-2 in Game 5 tonight.
Game 5 again, like we talked.
Whoever wins this is winning the series.
Yep. So we could end up seeing Milwaukee not even repeat as a champion.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
100%.
I don't care.
No,
I'm not against Giannis. I'm just not a big fan of the guy. He doesn't.
And like I said in one of our previous podcasts, there, like Boston sneakily snuck into that number 2 seed, and they were surprisingly good.
Well, that's it. They have no Kyrie now. It's Tatum's show.
It's Tatum's show. Yeah, and they got a real good chance to take the series lead tonight, as Milwaukee does, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
is Embiid the most hated player in the NBA right now? He's got to be, right?
Jay Crowder.
Yeah, Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder. Yeah, I mean,
Kyrie, honestly,
James Harden, maybe.
Yeah.
Even though he's good, he's a little cocky and little. I think Jokic winning. It's funny. I looked at the stats. For what he did on that team without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter, he definitely deserved MVP. Putting up numbers.
The surfaced of Jokic's draft. They were showing a KFC commercial when he was drafted.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He wasn't even on TV.
No, and I think he actually wasn't in the best shape either.
No, he still isn't.
Yeah, but the numbers he put up, even though Denver didn't finish as high as they wanted to, the numbers that he put up, astronomical.
Oh, he's been amazing, and he's been kind of just shown out the entire time.
So
that being said, I still got Miami as my favorite to win it all. Nothing's changed for me.
Dallas fan, I think Dallas has a chance to upset the number 1 seed. I mean, look at what New Orleans did in the first round. They almost knocked out the number 1 seed in the playoffs. So anything can happen. I got Dallas. Dallas is a good team. I think if they get to the conference final, anything can happen. So, awards. Yeah.
That's pretty much all we have there. I mean, Jokic MVP now.
Monty Williams, Suns coach. Like we said, Scotty Barnes won rookie. So
nothing too crazy there.
Nope.
Yeah, let's talk NFL. Tom Brady will reportedly make more as a Fox analyst as he did his entire playing career.
That's crazy. And the fact that he's basically got a second job when he's retired. Like, the guy's going to be making millions, and him and Rodgers are set up to play Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in the match, golf match.
I'm excited to see that. I think that could be fun.
I think not having golf specialists, like golf players, it might help and get some more ratings. And
get them mic'd up, though. I need them mic'd up fully. I need whatever they're saying on camera.
Hey, Tom, give me one of your Super Bowl rings.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers. No, it's crazy, and I think it's what's going to be good for the game is having one of the all-time greats as an analyst, kind of like a Tony Romo or
Tony Romo, Mannings. They've been great doing that stuff. Okay, best receiving corps. Who do you got as the best receiving group in the league?
Honestly, obviously the Raiders, you put on there Devontae Adams,
Renfro, Adams have been great. I think Tampa's still got Godwin, Evans, Scotty Miller. There's still nothing lost there.
Miami got a boost getting Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. What about some other names? I mean, I want to say Denver looks good.
Denver looks good.
Sutton and Jerry Jeudy.
And especially getting an actual pro quarterback.
Mm-hmm. See what happens there. I mean, it sucks to say Seattle's got an amazing receiving corps still. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett.
And they need a quarterback now.
And they've got Drew Lock. Drew Lock and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Yay.
Colin Kaepernick?
Well, that's the thing.
Because when
Carroll wanted Colin Kaepernick in the draft originally.
Yeah. But they already had their quarterback in Russell. Well, yeah.
They did, yeah. So what, does he call him up?
Well, he wanted to come in. he wanted Kaepernick to come in when Kaepernick was released.
Yes.
But then he said, well, we already have a quarterback.
I think he calls him up. I think you can see Colin Kaepernick back in the league this season because of that.
I think so. And I think people are going to really be, not angry, but think double guessing like, hey, we let go of this guy and now he's back in the show, right? So
I can see it. I mean, Brown's shooting off his mouth that it's just all for show. But
yeah. Mayfield's going to be probably looking for another place.
Does Mayfield end up in Seattle?
Well, who's in Cleveland now? Is it Watson? Watson went there, yeah.
Watson and Mayfield are still there.
I could see Mayfield in Chicago. Or, Seattle.
Well, yeah. Is that happen?
Is that a team that fits Mayfield's play?
I think so. It gives him good receivers, gives him a good running back. Right? It's the same team he had in
Cleveland,
really.
Yeah. And I think for both Watson and Mayfield, it's time to move on and start with different teams. Yeah. So, otherwise, not a whole lot in the NFL going on.
Okay. Let's move over to baseball to finish off the Major Four. Let's do a quick standings check. In the American League East, we got the Yankees in first, Tampa Bay in second, Toronto third, Baltimore fourth, and Boston in dead last in that division at 11 and 19. I don't know what to say about that Boston team. That Boston team should have been good. With the addition of Trevor Story, they should have been good.
And they're kind of shit in the bed to start the season.
Okay, the American League Central. Minnesota, Chicago White Sox, the Guardians, Kansas City Royals, and then Detroit.
Which
no real surprises there.
No, I mean, who's leading that one?
Minnesota at 18.
Yeah, so Minnie and Chicago are going to be battling for first in that division.
Cleveland to be as good as they have been. But I mean, that bottom three is kind of just there.
With a new name change and COVID now
and
rising.
Not being a great team.
Yeah.
The American League West. Angels, Astros, Mariners, Rangers, Oakland.
Not a surprise. Oakland sold off.
Yeah. The Rangers being as bad as they are after spending $500 million.
On 2-3 good players?
On 3 guys. They spent just under $600 million.
Astros and...
That's
the Angels are surprised. I mean, they've kind of been building.
Could you just combine those two divisions, the Central and East, or West, and just combine it? Please?
Please. Keep the AL East.
I'm fine with the AL East being a dogfight on its own.
Yeah.
Because that's a fun dogfight.
100%.
But the fact that one of those 3 teams, LA, Houston, and Seattle, aren't going to make playoffs is upsetting to see.
Because it's what? Division winners and then 3 wild cards?
Yeah.
So basically Seattle and Houston got to be top.
Yeah, so it should be different.
Yeah. So that's the AL.
NL. We got the Mets, Atlanta, Miami, Philly, Washington.
Well, Washington's been kind of a sell-off, surprisingly.
Washington's kind of then Philly's being disappointing.
Yeah.
When you got World Series.
When you got an NL MVP and Bryce Harper on your team.
The only team with a positive record is the Mets in that division at 21-10. The Braves are 14-17, Miami's 13-17, and Philly's 13-17.
So I think we all know Atlanta's probably not repeating.
Are the Mets going to be the Mets again this year, though?
Kind of shit the bed at the later point. Could we hypothetically see a division winner below 500 if the Mets start tanking?
We could.
In baseball, pretty hard to do, but
it's doable though.
But I mean, Scherzer's been good. DeGrom's been good. Carrasco's been pretty good.
Carrasco's been good enough. Taylor McGill.
Yeah.
Taylor, because it's
Francisco Lindor. So
it's been good enough.
It's been good for now.
Yeah. The Central, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, the Cubbies, and the Reds. The old Cincinnati Reds, 6-24. They finally won a series last weekend.
Does Joe Votto go to a contender to try to win a World Series before?
He's too busy making TikToks to care.
Fair enough.
But he should. Yeah. I'd like to see him finish his career.
Like he's going to be in the Hall, especially being a Canadian player. He's going to be in the Hall, but give him a chance to win a title.
Give him a chance to win. I mean, the Reds got some young players though, like Tyler Stevenson, Hunter Green's looked amazing. That kid, the 2-way kid, looks so good coming out.
You think he goes to a team, be like an Pujols, where he goes to like maybe a Dodgers and just DHs. Mind you, the Dodgers got so much there.
Dodgers don't need a DH anymore.
No.
Okay, to round it out, the National League West. The Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, the Cardinals, or not the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, and then the Rockies. All 5 teams of that division are positive record.
Yeah, because the Rockies went all out and got Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Dodgers, obviously, they picked up Freeman, which I think was honestly a shock around baseball.
Yeah. The Padres are just kind of there.
So what's the Rockies? They're dead last. What are they?
16-14.
So it's 2 games above, but still.
Arizona's 17-14. Giants are 18-12. Padres are 20-11. and the Dodgers are 20-8.
20-11 for the Padres, and they're missing Tatis.
Yeah, they're still missing pieces.
So they're going to be lethal when they come back.
Like, that's going to be that series that we've been waiting to see, is that Dodgers-Padres.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're seeing it now. We got 4 teams from 2 cities in the lead right now.
Yeah, both LA teams.
First time it's ever happened.
Really?
The first time, actually, first time it's happened that all 4 teams have been in the lead in their division.
Yeah, so you got both the Dodgers and the Angels, and then the Yankees and the Mets.
Big markets. Are we finally starting to see the big markets finally truly take over?
Could you see like an LA final, New York final?
That is a lot. It's happened once, actually. The New York has happened once.
Oh, okay.
With the Mets and the Yankees.
Yeah.
A long time ago, but it's happened.
So, interesting.
Not a long time ago. I think it was 2000.
2000? Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, few years.
Yeah.
Now, so could we see them hold on to that, you think?
Baseball's so hard, right? You play 162 games. Yeah.
I don't see the Angels holding on to it.
No, not with the Astros clicking at their heels.
Yeah. With that being said, Joe Maddon's a genius. After intentionally walking the bases loaded and then letting it run, the Angels have gone on to be 18-7.
That's pretty impressive.
Like,
you know,
was that the
Ohtani.
kick in the ass they needed to get going?
I mean, Ohtani's the reigning AL MVP, and
yeah.
to hit and pitch on the same day is
the Angels
crazy.
found pitching. That's the thing. They always had hitting.
Yeah.
They always had Trout. They had Rendon, Ohtani. Taylor Ward's looked like a god recently. But now they've got pitching and Syndergaard. Reed Detmers yesterday threw no-hitter. Like, that's the kind of stuff that the Angels needed. And jokingly along with that, side note, Anthony Rendon. His first time hitting as a lefty because the game was over. I think it finished 12-10 or 12-0 or something like that.
12-0, yeah.
He hit as a lefty for the first time ever.
He just wanted to try left because the game was whatever.
Went yard. Hit a home run. First at bat as a lefty. Hit a home run.
Congrats, Anthony. Good on you. Switch hitting?
Yeah, maybe think about it. But does that make Joe Maddon a genius, or does that make him just kind of crazy that he could walked in a run with the bases loaded to begin with?
Well, I think Joe Maddon is a accomplished manager. Period.
Do it, but
I've seen it's happened a few times where they've loaded the bases intentionally. They don't want a guy like Barry Bonds in the past hit a home run and with the loaded bases, right? So sometimes it works. Well, obviously in this situation they lost. Did they do?
They did lost, but they didn't. All 4 of those runs came in anyway.
Yeah.
2 different circumstances. But.
So, yeah, it's a weird way, but baseball's adapting. That's it. Yeah.
It's becoming more analytical than ever before.
Yeah. You see.
I don't know how I feel about that, but it's working.
That's just what it is now.
Okay, let's talk a little fantasy. Who's stood out to you in fantasy so far? I
suck at fantasy, so I don't want to.
The guy for me has been Michael King with the Yankees. He's looked great recently. Becoming a household name for most teams. Clay Holmes in that same Yankees bullpen.
Bueller's been good. On a
great.
Fantasy note, Chapman hasn't with Toronto. He's more of a defensive guy.
Yeah, that's it. He always has been.
You know, Vladdy's been good. Kershaw. Honestly, Kershaw coming back from...
Kershaw looks like Kershaw again, which is scary for that Dodgers team.
Yeah. Because now you're going to have a top-loaded rotation.
Merrill Kelly.
Yeah.
The ERA low man on the Diamondbacks. How is that a thing?
Exactly.
That the Diamondbacks are 4th in their division, if not almost dead last in the entire league.
Mm-hmm.
He's still got the lowest ERA in the league.
That's crazy. But, you know, there's been some surprise fantasy players. I mean, Chapman's even been given good fantasy points for what he does. Fantasy's been looking good. Some players have really stepped up. Some players have obviously tanked.
Well, Anthony Rizzo recently has been hitting the ball well. Mm-hmm. Josh Naylor, the Canadian boy out of Vancouver, has been great.
Just depends how you set it. Just depends how your fantasy's set up. Everyone's fantasy is different. So, but it's for our fantasy anyways. It's been pretty good.
Yeah. So let's talk about playoffs and how they would look today. With the new playoff system, they've got the top two teams get a bye, then the other division winner, and then 3 wildcard teams now make it. So as of today, the Yankees and Angels would get a bye with being 1 and 2 respectively. The Jays being in 6th place would be at home or be on the road against the number 3 Twins. Then the Rays and Astros would play. That's a hell of a playoffs to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then American League alone.
And then obviously lowest seed goes to the Yanks, and then obviously now, but second lowest seed goes to the Angels. It'd be a good postseason.
Yeah, it'd be a great postseason the way it would look.
Mm-hmm. What about the NL here? We got
Dodgers and Mets, the New York and
leaders
LA
so far.
teams, And then with that being said, we got the number 6 Cardinals going against the Brewers, which would be a fun series. And the Giants and Padres, a nice divisional matchup.
Yeah. Is the Cardinals-Brewers another division matchup?
I believe it is, yeah.
No, it wouldn't be because you'd still have to have a division winner.
No, Cardinals and Milwaukee's the divisional winner.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that would be how that works.
So the Mets I guess because the Mets division are the only ones with a minus 500 record.
Well, that's it, yeah. So that'd be the playoffs. I mean, out of that, it's hard to argue with the Yankees right now.
100%.
I mean, the Blue Jays have looked great, but they're struggling right now. And this is a little adversity that they haven't faced yet this season.
Baseball, for me, is one of those you got to catch fire in a bottle at the middle part to the end of the year. Because, obviously, if you catch it too late, you're not going to win your division. Late, So you want to kind of be consistent throughout. And the Yankees have always usually been that. The Dodgers. So it's been... I think if these were the playoffs going forward, I think it would be a good way to start it, I guess.
Quick side note. After I just finished hyping up Merrill Kelly... He's got 2 errors tonight on his own.
Oh, boy.
He's already allowed 1 home run. It's the first inning.
Oh, boy. And he's the ERA leader right now.
I don't know if he still is. But here's some quick notes. Do you think Alejandro Kirk is the definition of peak performance? That man is a hoss and a unit.
After I just watched him stumble into second base today, oh, my goodness. Woo!
He is 5'8", but I can argue he's 5'6". Like, he's not a big guy.
No. And he's pretty bulky, so it was pretty funny watching him do that.
Yeah, Dusty Baker, 2,000 wins. Good on you.
Congrats, man.
He's done it everything. He's the inventor of the high five. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah. He's the co-inventor of the high five. Which no one talks about. With the Dodgers back in like 1989 or something like that.
Congrats, Dusty. Accomplished manager. I don't think he's won a World Series.
No.
He's 2,000 wins.
That's why the Astros, I think, can do it. Bumgarner got chucked for a 4 subs to check. That whole thing was just a shit show and a half.
That wasn't even an inning.
No, he pitched 8 inning.
8 inning,
8 inning, and then he got chucked. But you look at the guy, Dean Blandino is just staring at him and caressing the fingers ever so slightly, just looking at Bumgarner in the eyes. What's he trying to get out of that?
Exactly.
Like, are you just asking?
And we don't have Joe West anymore, so there's no more stare downs with Joe West.
Well, that's we're getting it with that Blandino now, and why?
Yeah. But
umps need to realize this is not about them.
100%.
No one gives a shit about them.
No, it's about the players and the team.
Yeah, just do your job. Do your job with respect. You look at hockey, Tim Peel. Guys respect him.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Sorry, bum.
Mets got a combined no-hitter the other night.
Yeah, 7-0, wasn't it? Something like that.
5 pitchers combined for no-hitter in that game.
That's awesome.
And so does that mean as much as a Reed Detmers no-hitter the other night? Does that mean as much?
No, it's a good stat because obviously your pitchers did a good job not getting a hit. But for me, it's more amazing to see a pitcher go 9 and complete game and no hitters and all that because those guys they go 9 innings. Yeah. You're not splitting it up, and obviously you got to have a low. To me, you got to have a low pitch count come the 5th inning so that you can continue it. Because if you're hitting 60 pitches by the 5th inning, there's probably no way you're...
You have a chance. I think how it should be, how they've done it before, is if you're 80 pitches in the 7th inning, you should be good.
Yeah, because
you should be good.
If you're a starter, your goal is about that 100-pitch mark if you're lucky. So, and then we were talking about it, the DH in both leagues, how it's going so far.
I've liked it so far. I've liked seeing guys. It gives an extra bat in the lineup, allows for more runs. We've seen some high-scoring games recently.
And I mean... hypothetically, pitchers aren't the best hitters.
No.
So, for pitchers, pitching to pitchers, chances of getting a strikeout, you might bump up your strikeout rate.
Well,
so you might, but on the odd chance a pitcher like Bumgarner or Ohtani hit.
There's a couple guys that can still swing it, but still.
Right? Ohtani's pitching and hitting on the same day. Exactly.
Give Pujols a job. And that's why. Okay.
Yeah, because then, sorry, to go on that, you give guys rest and older players don't have to play on the field.
Yeah, you're not playing.
It still counts as a game.
Yeah.
But you're not wearing your body out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think having it in place earlier, you probably would have seen a lot more records shattered. I think.
Moving into some Miscellaneous Sports to finish it off. The Coyote Tractor Championship in Olds this past weekend. It's the last curling event of the season. Thoughts?
I got to volunteer for one day, and I didn't see every team, but the teams I saw, a lot of them, it was their last game together. Most teams decided to split for the new or the next quadrennial, they
so
call it.
So why is that? Like, why was it just not a successful season? Like, I never understood that.
So
curling, just to move on? Or
no, curling's a weird one because with curling, their goal is Olympics.
Yeah.
So that's what it's called a quadrennial. So I think this is a new quadrennial. So after this event, which just happened this past weekend, the new quadrennial starts. So that's unless something happens where like a guy drinks and causes misconduct or something, that teams try to stay together for each quadrennial because that's the team they want to go to the Olympics and they want to compete for stuff. So you saw a lot of good curling teams disband, and there's one or two teams that decided to stay together. One of them being Carrie Einerson over Unchi Jim from Korea. She beat her 10-6. They decided to stay together.
Did they? Okay.
Val Sweeting skipped before. Maybe she wanted to leave, but a lot of teams just wanted to disband. And I think Brendan Botcher, who's probably the next Kevin Cooey in Alberta, I think he's stacked up with Olympic and Brier experience. So, speaking of which, Brad Grushu, congrats. You won 8-5 over Kevin Cooey in the men's championship. So, good way to end fantastic run for a bunch of teams.
Great season.
A bunch of teams have been together for years, and some are taking hiatuses, some are moving to different teams, out of province teams. So, congrats to those teams.
Let's finish it off with some lacrosse.
Yeah, obviously, shout out to Ty Belanger there. Your former team is in the Western Conference Finals, the Colorado Mammoth, college student here in Olds. We got the San Diego Seals, who are the number 1 seed in the West, going up against the 3rd seed Colorado Mammoth. Western Conference Finals, 2 games out of 3 you got to win. Then in the East, we got the Buffalo Bandits, who are the number 1 seed, going up against Toronto Rock for the Eastern Conference Finals. And the winners of those will go to the best of 3 for the NL Championship. I think it'll be good.
I'm surprised it's the best of 3. I can see that being maybe a 5, best of 5.
Marketing, right? It's not popular.
But
I went to a game Buffalo Calgary a few years back before COVID, and to get in was $20, and it was game 2. Calgary was up 1-0. Game 2 of the finals, $20.
See, and that's not great. You need to raise that somehow.
Right? So they're expanding. They got lots more teams. When I was watching, it was 8 teams. Now it's almost 16.
Yeah.
So good luck to those teams. Should be good lacrosse. Colorado's got a few guys.
Out of those 4? You have any picks, ideas?
There's a few guys from Red Deer, or used to play in Red Deer's system, from Colorado. So I want Colorado. I think Colorado Buffalo would be a good final.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I'm San Diego and Toronto.
San Diego, Toronto?
Yeah.
Buffalo's got a good team, though. So, but yeah.
Okay, where can they find us?
Again, Instagram at the LRT Pod, so that's the LRT Pod, all lowercase. Twitter at the LRTP, so that's the word the, all capitals LRTP. And also like and subscribe us to the YouTube channel that you're watching this on.
Hey, thanks for listening. That's all we got for this week.